So my area of research is how human cells decide to divide, and especially how do they take that decision when they recover from previous damage, especially DNA damage. So if they had DNA damage, they block division, and then how do they know that they can restart it afterwards? And the interesting thing is that the decision to divide is taken somewhat differently after recovery from a damaged situation compared to when cells are just growing normally. What I want to do is to figure out how the decision to divide is taken and what the differences are between unperturbed growth and recovery from DNA damage situations.
In Dr. Lindqvist's research project, he combines what normally are two separate disciplines, classic biology and mathematics.
There are very many proteins and they interact in very complex manners. So what I want to do is to see how these proteins interact with each other in a functional way, and then use mathematical modeling to be able to determine what kind of effects, what kind of consequences are coming from this. My hope in the end goal of this is that we can understand the differences between cells that recover from a damage situation, which is then either early in tumor development or after several of the anti-cancer treatments that we use today, and compare that to how it is in a normal situation.
If the research project is successful, Dr. Lindqvist thinks that the results can help contribute to new methods of treatment. In the long run, this can help towards the goal of using a mathematical model to describe what makes a cell recover.
If we can go in and describe this in a generalized way, we might have a way to predict in a computer model that these are the proteins and protein levels that are present in this tumor. If we treat it with DNA damaging conditions, then we also need to treat it with this, this and this to be able to prevent further tumor growth. But this is pretty far in the future. The dream use of my research results in a far out future would be that this would be a model there that could clinically be used to predict better cancer treatments. So I think that in the future it was going to be essential to combine a lot of the biological measurements we do with computer-based mathematical analysis of what does this really mean. Well, my motivation and inspiration comes from that I think that this is really interesting stuff. I think that how humans function, how we function all the time, that's just really interesting. And I got to say that this is really something like a hobby for me as well. You know, if I had another work, I would be happy spending some time in the evenings doing this.